I climbed the tallest mountains of Tibet. I grabbed the coldest of all Coors Lights in the Rockies and treaded through the allergy-ridden and Black Widow-ridden valleys of Sacramento to ask one question. Who do you draft first in fantasy football for 2017? And I have the answer. What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. Here's who you're drafting first in fantasy football this year. Even though it's a little bit early, it's early July, this video should still apply to what's going on when most people draft, which is late August. Let's jump straight into it. There's 4 guys that you can possibly choose from for the first overall pick. Let's start off with the 4th overall guy, and that is Antonio Brown. Yes, Antonio Brown is at the number 4 spot, but this guy still is worth considering to be drafted number 1 overall, but only in PPR leagues. That brings me to the next guy, number 3, Ezekiel Elliott. We just heard Adam Schefter, right? He said, if you're drafting Zeke in fantasy, be a little bit wary. There is a small chance, okay? So I'd say it's less than 50%. It's probably far less than 50%, but there still is a realistic chance that Ezekiel Elliott does get suspended. I think you have to factor that in a little bit, or at least put that in your mind. You know, don't just, he's not going to get suspended. It's a realistic scenario. So I'm saying at least consider it. Maybe it doesn't affect your rankings at all. That's fine. I'm just saying this early, right now it's July. If you were drafting right now, we have to consider this. Let's say later on, okay, like August, we know 100% that he's not going to face any type of suspension at all for domestic violence. Once we know that, then he's worth considering number 1 in standard leagues. In a PPR, however, I probably wouldn't go with him number 1. Ezekiel Elliott, in a PPR, I think you can take him right now. Let's say the draft is right now at number 3 or number 4. In a standard league, I think you take him at number 3. You take that risk. He's so good. Lance Dunbar, he's out of here. He's on the Los Angeles Rams. So he's going to get a ton of carries, and that offensive line is still a beast, even though we're -1 offensive lineman. Don't worry about it. Now that brings us to the last 2 guys and the real debate here. Le'Veon Bell or David Johnson. I've looked at this very closely. You can really go either way, but after examining it for a long time, I've looked at both schedules. I'm going to have to go with David Johnson here. So David Johnson is my number 1 overall pick in any format. You can just as easily go with Le'Veon Bell. If you're a team Le'Veon Bell, I'm not even going to argue against that. That's fine. He's going to be a beast. It's awesome we have to choose between these 2 guys. I mean, there could be a lot worse. It's good to choose between DJ and Le'Veon Bell. I don't think you can really go wrong. Both are amazing. I'm going to go with the guy that I think has a slightly better schedule. Le'Veon Bell, with all the suspensions and injuries he's suffered, I'm going to give the slight edge to DJ. So as of right now, here are my top 4 players for PPR, and here are my top 4 for standard leagues. And here's my top 10 players for PPR and standard leagues. Okay, wait, I don't want to show it to you yet, okay? It's still early. I want to perfect it, okay? So I know I gave you a glimpse, but let me look over it some more. Come late July, I promise I'll be releasing some solid rankings, okay? Just give me a little bit more time. I'll come out with the rankings for PPR, for standard, overall, defense, kicker, the whole shebang. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me! Well, that's it for this video, guys. Short and sweet. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification icon so you'll be part of the notification squad. And leave a comment below. Do you agree with my number 1 overall pick? What's your number 1 overall pick in fantasy football? I want to know what you guys think. I'll see you on the next video.